In this module, we'll cover iTest licensing, preferences, windows, views, and perspectives. License configuration opens when iTest is launched, and also from the toolbar by clicking Help and then Configure iTest Licensing. A runtime license allows tests to be executed, but does not allow files to be modified. The enterprise license is used to execute and author or modify test cases and other files. Some features require separate licenses, and these are displayed in the iTest modules list. You will typically use the checkout option to get a license. You have the option to borrow licenses for offline use, but be careful doing this. If a license is borrowed, it will remain checked out and unavailable to other users until the time specified. The License Sources tab is where you configure the IP address of your iTest license server. Click the Add button, input the IP address of your license server, and if the port number is different from the default, add the port number. Clicking the Check Servers button will ping the server and see if the server. Go ahead and launch iTest. You're going to see this iTest Launcher dialog. What this is doing is asking which workspace you want to use. We're going to get into what that means in the next module. So for now, just hit Launch, leave it at the default. Next, you'll see the iTest licensing dialog. And you'll see the different license types and modules that we just discussed. So we're going to leave it on iTest Enterprise because we are going to be developing test cases. You can leave all the modules checked, and whatever you have will be checked out for you, and whatever you don't have will just be left alone. If you're using a demo license, you're going to get everything. And leave checkout mode on checkout. Don't use borrow. Go over here to the License Sources tab, and you can see here my license server. Yours is going to be different. It's going to be hosted in your lab. Click Add, and you're going to put that IP address or host name here in the host field. If you're using a non-default port, you can uncheck default and add the port number. Most of you will probably leave it on default. After you've added your license server, you can hit the Check Servers button. You'll see the status is okay if everything is online as it should be. And you can hit Apply. And now we see our license is checked out, and all the modules that we have are checked out with it, and we can hit OK. The Preferences window is accessed by clicking Window and then Preferences in iTest toolbar. The Spirent section configures test case editors, language preferences, meaning Tcl or Python, the external test reports database, velocity configuration, session profile settings, view settings, and log settings. There are many options in the Preferences window, so use the filter text box to search. A view is a tabbed pane you'll see in an iTest window. An iTest window will usually show multiple views. Some commonly used views are the Capture view, where you can see captured steps, the iTest Explorer view, where you can interact with the files in your workspace, and the Response view, where you can see responses to test steps. A perspective is a stored arrangement of views and editors. You can modify existing perspectives or create your own custom perspective to make iTest display the way you like. In some situations, like creating a response map or debugging a test, the perspective can change automatically. Remember, you can always change back to your favorite perspective or click the Reset Layout button to restore the display to the way you like it. Let's take a look around iTest and get familiar with the user interface. When you first launch iTest, it's going to launch into the iTest Activities perspective. This perspective is intended for beginners as a way to kind of walk you through the test development process. But it's pretty limiting as soon as you start working with multiple files and multiple projects. So we're just going to go right into the iTest Expert perspective. To open that perspective, you're going to come up here to this toolbar and click the iTest Expert button. Notice when I do that, everything shifts, and now we have a few different views. So here in the left side, we have our iTest Explorer view. This is going to let us look at all the projects in our workspace. Over here on the right, we have our capture view. That's going to show us all the sessions that we've captured. We have a response view down here. It's going to show us the responses to commands that we issue to our devices. We also have several other views that are hidden behind the views that we just looked at. So we have like our Get views here. You can see they're grayed out kind of in the background. You can click on those and they'll come to the foreground. And you can swap between these tabs just like, you know, a browser tab or anything like that. I could also have switch perspectives by going to Window, Perspective, and then Open Perspective. So here are a few that are commonly used. We can go to Other. There's a bunch of different things in here. You're really going to be sticking to the expert perspective. If we want to see another view that's not included in the perspective, we can go to Window, Show View. Let's open up our Test Reports view. And see that's going to come in here. And as we run tests, this is going to be populated with results. You can also minimize views. So if we want to have more room for our main tab here, let's say we're looking at a test case, we could minimize our Explorer view. And then we get more space. You can see here you get a little fast view button. So if you click this, it's going to just pop up open here, kind of superimposed over the other big view. So if we need to just quickly glance at something, we can do it that way. If you click escape, it'll go away. Now let's say we have messed up our view a little bit. We've got that minimized. You know, maybe we've closed something that we need. We don't remember how to get it back. Things are just looking different than we're used to. We can click the Reset Layout button, and it's going to restore that perspective to its default. And finally, when you get confused, the Help is always here for you. Just click Help and then Help Contents. And you're going to see that your help loads.